Hello, my friends. Today is March the 22nd, and this is a reading for you if this is your birth date. This is a four-card pull to cover the year to follow, a general energy card, something that might sustain or chop it open, a challenge you might face this year, an action you can take to stay in balance, and an outcome or synopsis card. So this is the general energy card for the year, and it is the dead end. And is this a card for you that you know is a year-long thing, or something you just reach in the middle of it? Either way, it has a feeling of you can't go anywhere any farther. You can't go with this anymore. There's a dead end here. There's nothing you can do to make it change. You think, you feel, you understand on whatever level you're looking at this. So there's a frustration, there's a hopelessness, quite possibly. There's still, I think there could be the push to try to push something to change a dead end when a dead end is a dead end. Now, is this just a plateau? I mean, could you just be on a plateau and just not know what next course could be, and you just need to go through some patience and some time? But it keeps leading back to this sense of this is a dead end, and you have no power to change it, and you have no force of will to change it, and you can't change somebody else and make them accept where they are. Or so what do you do? How do you accept where you are? How do you understand how to surrender and change and let flow and let go? And this is, I think, primarily what this is about, the dead end. What do you do when you can't go any farther? So this is your particular challenge, the Queen of Cups, and it's about emotions, and it's about your feelings, and it's about the Queen. Normally the Queen has gone through so many different things. You've gone through so many different emotional situations, and you've come to great, I think, understandings on many of them, and you're still working, but you're queenly. You know how to dispense your heart, yourself, your energies. You know which masks to put on to help others to change. You know how to take healing into your body. You know how to let go of things, surrender, being in the water, a waterfall moving through you. So you know how to surrender and let go and let the water take you to where it needs to go. But that's your challenge. You can't quite figure that out. You can't quite let that. In other words, you can't like feel that you're healing on this. There's a lot of emotions that are coming up because you can't understand what to do, because you've reached a dead end. There's that dead end, and you don't know what to do, and you don't know how to let go, and you don't know how to move on, and you don't even know if it's the end yet. But all signs point to something being at a dead end. So this is a time of reflection, and it's your challenge is to reflect upon it. But for some reason, you don't want to reflect upon this, and you don't want to go deep into those emotions. And I think you're stuck in some one of those emotions, quite possibly. But you're not. You can't break through yet, and you can't understand it yet, and there's still a frustration, or there's still a push, or there's still maybe a resentment, or an anger, some kind of emotion that still churns you up and says, well, you have work to do, and you're not done yet, Queen. You're not done yet, Queen. So this is again that challenge of how do you accept when things can't change in the way that you want them, in the time that you want them, if they ever will. And if card keeps saying dead end, there's a good possibility that you're at the end with something. Now, again, this can't apply to 22 million people who might be born on this day completely like this, so maybe this is a plateau. So you got to look at it, but first of all, you got to understand that regardless of whether this is a dead end or a plateau that you just have to follow along and feel frustrated and confused about, you still got to deal with your emotions. You still got to deal with those parts that are frustrated and resentful and whatever emotions that are coming up. So there's lots of work you can do. And you have the power to do it, and you have a lot of the tools to do it. And you know how to seek cleansing, and you know how to share yourself in deep ways, and you know how to listen to other people's pain. But you got to step into that role again, and you got to hear that for yourself. You got to give yourself some time, and you got to figure out, why am I so angry about this? Why am I so upset about this? And can you let go of more and more and more and more and more? And that's exactly what the uh, action to take is butterfly transformation. In a lot of ways, we have to go through stages of understanding, stages of creation and sustenance and growth and change and death, life to death. Butterfly is life to death. We see it so quickly, so easily, from the cocoon stage all the way up through the full butterfly, the 4 stages of development. So this is saying this takes time, and this takes a process. Regardless of where it comes out in the end, it takes time and it takes a process. And there are stages you have to go through. So allow yourself to go through the stages of understanding, and maybe you'll have a clear thought, but you'll have time to filter it down through your whole body level, so you can get to the point where you've surrendered and let go and cleansed yourself, and you've gone into grief. A lot of this is about grief and grieving something that you didn't get. And when you can get to that space, will you allow yourself for your butterfly to emerge in its brilliance? Once you have cried about this, once you have really surrendered into this, once you have grieved for what you didn't get or you won't get in the future because you can't have it now, then you're on a very amazing healing journey. And it's one about opening your own heart, but I think when you reach that butterfly stage, you have a heart that's open for others. And if this is about someone else, they can then have a heart that's open for you and not feel like they're in a fight, that they're in a battle. On some level, maybe that's what they feel and fear, and that might not have anything to do with you. But if your reactions are anything but, allowing to change, then maybe they're feeling like you're a mother or a father to them. And maybe what you're dealing with is a mother or father energy toward you. So this is all about opening your own heart. You can't change somebody else's heart. You can only open your own heart and let some more of the ice and pain and tension go, and open it up, and let that center breathe again, and let that center live again, and let that center become a part of your higher consciousness and your seeking and your divine spiritual grace and your understanding of flows of energy. That's ultimately what the Queen of Cups is all about, understanding flows of energy and how to make them more smooth for everyone to prosper. Because the Queen wants to help everybody. The Queen wants to share her resources and her gifts, his or her resources and his or her gifts, or his or her healing, and they want to give it to everyone. And they want to in themselves seek their cleansing and seek their peace and seek their surrender, so they can have more peace as they go along, as you go along, having more peace. So this is about the dead end. And when the dead end comes, how do you find peace in your heart? Well, you have to go through the stages of letting go, the butterfly, the stages of letting go. And you have to go into that place of acceptance through grieving, through cleansing work, through deep quieting, through meditation, through offering yourself up in positive ways to others and receiving up from others in positive ways. Keep the gifts of giving and receiving alive, and you're going to be fine through this. Give and receive. Keep giving, keep receiving. Nothing's done, but you might have reached a dead end. So allow that to be and see where it takes you. Ahom Atakwiyas.